Welcome into Motorsports Monday. Labor Day weekend means the start of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs, and what better place to start those playoffs than one of the crown jewel races. Darlington Raceway, the host for the iconic Southern 500. This race kicks off round one of the NASCAR playoffs. A pair of Joe Gibbs Toyotas starting on the front row of this one after showing blazing speed in qualifying. This race is always a race of attrition as it's 500 miles on maybe the toughest track on the NASCAR circuit. The Toyotas were able to start fast, but early issues for pole sitter Christopher Bell, who has a very slow first pit stop here as the Jackman has trouble getting the car off the ground. This left Bell mired back in traffic, but still early on. Denny Hamlin able to power past Tyler Reddick, who is sporting the Carolina blue in the Jordan Brand sponsored car, to take over the top spot after the first round of pit stops. Stage one went caution free. Stage two now, we have one of the more bizarre things to happen so far this season. The infield lights in turns 3 and 4 weren't able to come on after sunset. This led to NASCAR red flagging the race to fix the issue. This also happened right around halfway, so it acted like a halftime, giving drivers and crews a quick break. Thankfully, the issue didn't take long to fix, and they're able to head back to racing. Hamlin continues his strong start, sweeping both stages, but not far behind at the end of stage 2 is Kyle Larson, who is looking to get his way back after starting in the back. After the first round of pit stops in the final stage, Denny Hamlin gets passed by Tyler Reddick and immediately relays to the team that he has a loose wheel. That means he has to head to pit road to fix the issue. Our next caution comes out with around 55 laps to go as Tyler Reddick gets passed on pit road by Kyle Larson, looking for his first Southern 500 victory. Shortly after that, Alex Bowman aggressively blocking Daniel Suarez, and he gets turned. Suarez then gets T-boned by Harrison Burton. Slow-mo shows Bowman not throwing one but two blocks there. We were mired. We were very frustrated. Both drivers were very frustrated following this wreck. Thankfully, all drivers involved were okay, including Harrison Burton. Just obviously not very happy with each other either. As they say, though, cautions breed cautions, and that was especially true near the end of the longest races of the year. Todd Gilliland gets around in this one and collect a pair of Joe Gibbs Toyotas and Hamlin and Christopher Bell. All of these cautions meant Kyle Larson had to hold off Reddick on multiple late-race restarts, and he was able to do so as Larson drives away in the end and gets his first career Southern 500 victory and has clinched his spot in the next round of the playoffs. Here's a look at the top 5 from this one. Tyler Reddick finished second, followed by one of the hottest drivers in NASCAR right now in Chris Buescher. William Byron and Ross Chastain round out the top 5. All of the top 5 in this one playoff drivers. And speaking of those playoffs, here's a look at the playoff standings after race 1 of 3 in the first round. Larson advances with the win. William Byron, after another solid race, finds himself 40 points above the cut line. Drivers outside of the top 12 right now: Bubba Wallace, Kevin Harvick, Ricky Stenhouse, and Michael McDowell. NASCAR heads to Kansas for the next race, and then the night race at Bristol is the following week, which is the elimination race before the field gets cut to 12. Locally now, Thunder Mountain Speedway hosting one of the bigger open-wheel modified races of the season. This 30-lap feature was dominated by Corbin's own Blake Brown. Ben Petrie comes in second after starting in the third spot, with Ben Harmon, Adam Ogle, and Chris Rickett rounding out the top 5. And speaking of open-wheel modifieds, the Sandy Adams Memorial is this Saturday at Rockcastle Speedway. $5,000 up for grabs in this one. Grandstands open at 4:30, and we will have highlights of this one next week in Motorsports Monday, one of the bigger weekends all summer long at Sandy Adams, at Rockcastle Speedway. So that should be fun there.
All right. Good job. And Darlington is so tough. Why?
Because the track is so oddly shaped. It's kind of shaped like an egg. One corner is a little bit smaller than the other corner, and it's kind of tight quarters. So 500 miles there does make for a long race. And don't forget, if you want more Motorsports Monday, we have that coming up on the radio, ESPN Radio at 10:30.